nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score. Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour 1 of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in to Old School. What a Monday it is. Going to be a fantastic week of radio. Nebraska's in the Sweet 16, and they got the smoke that Jay Foreman wanted last week. We'll talk more about that coming up next. Jay Foreman, good to see you, my friend.
What's happening?
Been a minute. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Matter of fact, I'm doing fabulous.
The previous crew was talking some major smack.
Who was that be? Bakken and Farley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right, though. It makes them feel better.
A lot of wolf tickets, right?
You seen what happened when I walked up in there? They got awful silent.
They got quiet and they kind of scattered.
Yeah.
Supposed to stick together, but instead they ran away.
That's all right, though. I give it. It's all right. I let them off. I'm in a charitable mood right now.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We also appreciate Graham Tire Company for sponsoring the show. They're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire getting you to the places that matter most. 402-464-5685. Please come hang out and be a part of the show. Jay, let's dive into, first and foremost, Nebraska men's basketball getting its March moment. Its hero in the form of the Lincoln kid, Braden Frager. I mentioned this on pregame with Jake on Saturday, is that, blowing out Troy was cool, right? I think Nebraska fans certainly enjoyed, getting a 29-point victory to open the tournament. But that's not why we love March. We don't like March Madness because of blowouts. We remember March Madness for the drama, for the intensity, for living and dying with every single play. And I told Jake on Saturday, and I'd mentioned this earlier in the week as well, but I recall specifically mentioning it on Saturday, that it would be really cool if Nebraska men's basketball was able to, at some point in this tournament run, be able to say, hey, now we're a true March Madness team. We have a moment. We have that signature dramatic moment. We made it. We're here. Between the Mast putback, the Hoiberg putback, and the Frager layup, and then obviously the Tanner miss as well. Nebraska's certified in March now.
Yeah, I mean, it's with all the the background of Nebraska, not meeting expectations. When they were the number 3 seed, obviously against Xavier, and had some really good players and on other teams that didn't make it. He probably had an NCAA tournament team that worthy, that didn't somehow make it with Eastrick's crew. Then they went and blew through the NIT and other teams. And then the lead up to it, close proximity. And then you get through Troy, then, like, okay, well, that, some people across the nation are like, okay, that's good enough. Then same old Nebraska. Then you play one of what people thought of the hottest teams and maybe the hardest outs in Vanderbilt. And everybody's looking down the pipe of maybe Florida, because Vanderbilt had beat Florida pretty significantly in the SEC tournament. So they were thought of at that time to be better than Florida. Florida's the defending champs, so forth and so on. How in the world could Nebraska win? And to be honest with you, Nebraska not only got their moment, they got their moments, and they got their and they got some pretty big moments from some I think. Well, I mean, Burke's been a starter, but I think for him, starting the game off with a corner three late in the game on the other end, same thing from the left side, corner three, big shots, a guy that you don't expect that from, huge minutes. You had the Sam Hoiberg's birthday, actually on that day, and his brother. So they're twins. And then here you have, the Fred Hoiberg, and then you're able to have, Price get off, in different ways. And then you talk about the ultimate team, what Nebraska is, versus what you look at maybe Vanderbilt. That I wouldn't say the exact opposite, but they play a little bit more individual basketball. Nebraska is a true team. That's what people have been trying to say all year. And then their best player, all Big Ten forward, via transfer portal from Iowa, makes the ultimate team play to a Lincoln kid, that made, went and made a layup. And then you kind of just scaved away from a shot, to be honest with you. I've seen plenty of those. I've seen guys shoot it. I've seen guys work on it, and he's a pretty skilled shooter. 7 out of 10 times that goes in. That ball was halfway down. It hit where you want to hit on the backboard. But the basketball god said, you know what? You have the right coach, the right person, the right players, the right people. It's not the right time for Vanderbilt to win. It's the right time for Nebraska to move on. And it's probably the shot that didn't go in of the weekend.
It's up there with the Gordon Hayward miss from Butler.
Yeah.
Has the most famous misses in NCAA tournament history.
Right. But specifically of this weekend, as far as the most exciting game, the most intense game. And once they kind of got going and Vanderbilt got it back within 3, remember they had it within 5, Nebraska get up by 7, then they get it within 4, then they got it within 3, then they got it within 2, and then they hit the 3 to get up 1. And then we got a ball game. Nebraska comes right back, and they got the middle of the lane 2 from Rink. It wasn't anything special. Right back in business. So I think it was a game that Nebraska was definitely cut out to play. And in my opinion, I know it came down to the last shot, and obviously Vanderbilt, played really well. I thought Nebraska was better than them flat out. And number 99, for a guy that was talking that much, I hate that you say horrible. First of all, you can't hit a free throw.
0 for 4.
Okay, number 1. Your shot was busted. Yes, you hit the 3. That's pretty much luck, because you can't shoot free throws. I know you're not a good three-point shooter. And number 2, coming into the game, you were the guy. Your jump shot was a la Bill Cartwright in a 6'2" body. I mean, are you kidding me? So the whole time you think, oh, here's Vanderbilt, right? They got some good players. I was really impressed with number 10. Really impressed with 5, and obviously impressed with number 3. Number 7 off the bench probably should have been starting. Probably did us a favor.
7 probably rushed that last one too. If he comes to a jump stop and tries to finish with a regular floater, maybe that goes down.
But I think his role that he played, energy guy, defense, I think he plays that better than 99. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, but again, you can credit Nebraska too for getting the ball out of Tanner's hands and making an uncomfortable player take over in that situation.
Yeah.
Right? For the first time in the better part of the last 10 minutes of that game, Jay, Nebraska got the ball out of Tyler Tanner's hands. Right? Okereke, and I've mispronounced it so many times because I always think back to Pat McAfee at the NFL draft in Nashville, talking to Titans fans. Bobby Okereke.
Yeah.
And then Reggie Wayne was talking then right after that. So, but I believe it's Okereke.
Yeah.
Was really solid, right? But all he did was the easy stuff, right? Hit the corner threes, had a few offensive rebounds, right? You look at Bing, only 2 points, 22 minutes, really a non-factor.
Yeah.
But even the Duke Miles thing, I mean, Nebraska allows 36 points to those two guards, but 27 of them, they made Tanner take 21 shots.
And I'm okay with that.
Is huge.
Yeah.
Made him a volume scorer. And
Yeah.
again, it was almost enough to win.
Yeah.
Right? It was almost enough to win. But Miles was only 2 of 10, scored almost half his points at the free throw line. Yeah, he had 6 assists, but only 1 steal.
And 4 turnovers.
And 4 turnovers, right?
Which is you can't hit anything from the field. You settled for 3, which Nebraska forces you to shoot 3.
1 of 8.
Right. And they you know it coming in the game. But Vanderbilt, you shot 37 threes. 37 threes. You shot yourself and played yourself. I was not impressed.
To be fair, Vandy did shoot its percentage from 3.
Right.
And you see how dangerous they can be. I mean, they were 10 of 22 in the second half. Nebraska lost nickel a few times. He hit a tough one. Miles hit the step back from the wing and then the open ones. But for as good as Nebraska was defending the 3 in the first half, I almost give Vanderbilt credit for sticking with it, saying, yeah, we're not going to go 4 for 15 again.
No. And you know that they were going to make a run and get back in the game. I mean, they're too talented of players. If you just look at, Tanner and Nickel, and then you could throw Miles or a combination of McLaughlin and Washington in there, that they were hanging around enough that they were going to, get busy. Number one, the main reason why they were close in this game is because the pressure that they were able to put on any ball handler that we had. This is probably the most tight lock defense that they have faced. I mean, you're talking about physical up in your grill, and yeah, you probably got a couple fouls called against them, but they didn't change.
No,
that threw off Nebraska a little bit, but offensively, man, I mean, for Duke Miles, and a little bit, and you don't want to take a bit away from Tanner. You're 3 of 10 from threes. There was probably 2 of them he just jacked up just because it was in Miles. 3 of them. So you're 5 threes right there. And your percentage or not, you would like to see Tanner in a game like this, 6 to 9. You'd like to see him 7 or 8 or 9. I mean, one more, you're in there. And, they didn't really attack Nebraska's defense at all. And so it became a 3-point shooting contest. That's where I was not impressed with them and I knew early, just by looking at the coach's body language, looking how they came out and was playing. Because when Nebraska was out playing them, they didn't really make an adjustment. That if it came down to it, Fred was going to outcoach him. And what happened? We got you right within, killing your distance, hit you with the zone. And it slowed down. It really stymied them because they were in an offensive flow where they were able to match score for score. We were struggling ball handling. The zone really stymied them pretty much the rest of the game.
Yeah, and Nebraska was actually able to rebound out of it
a
couple times as well, which was really, I think, the difference. Because if you look overall at the numbers, you'll see that Vandy more than doubled Nebraska on the offensive glass, 11-5. 9 second chance points for the Commodores. Nebraska had 8.
Yeah.
Right. And Nebraska still won the rebounding battle overall, 31-30. Even turnovers. Yeah, Nebraska turned it over 4 more times than Vanderbilt did. But Vandy only got 1 more point off of turnovers than Nebraska did. So, no, it wasn't necessarily a thing of beauty for Nebraska in the second half, especially. I mean, Jay, from the U12 to the U4, I don't want to say Nebraska was shook or rattled. They were just passive. Yeah. They were on their heels instead of on the balls of their feet. But that's where I want to give a lot of credit to the guys that then stepped up in that final segment, right? Nate Lenzer making the call to go to the 1-3-1. Fred Hoiberg signing off on it. Nebraska gang rebounding after that, drying up the offensive rebounds after misses. And then on the other side, 4 of the biggest points of the game for Nebraska came on putbacks.
Yeah.
Right? Something Nebraska, yes, exactly. All it is that Nebraska had position and they took advantage. Mast and Hoiberg, and then you get the game winner from Frazier.
Yeah, and that's all you could say. I mean, it's coaching, it's culture, it's the players, it's just who they are. But that it's just a byproduct of what I said. I was not impressed with Vanderbilt because you do some advanced scouting before you play, right? Who you potentially could play. If you go back to the Kansas State game, Nebraska, who made the same game-winning play? Sam Hoiberg, right? And same thing here. And if you go back to in particular, Rink was kind of more I'll call it mid-transition, coming from above the free throw line and down. So you could say, okay, I thought Austin's going to block him out, or me. You can kind of get lost a little bit, right? And that's understandable. To me, the Sam Hoiberg one is more indicative of what type of player Sam is and what type of team Vanderbilt's not, right? When you have essentially, let's just say Miles on a regular day with Nickel and Tanner, that's hard to deal with. 3 legitimate guards, and Nickel can kind of play that 2-3 and small forward, right? So you got matchup problems there. But if you go back and watch it, Nickel watched Sam go essentially win the game, right? The possession before, I think he had a big foul or a big turnover because it was on the other side of the court. So on that one, he was on his left, or the offensive left, which is Sam's, and then the other one. So you talk about coming down the stretch. And this is what you can do, star rankings. You can do it all, whatever you want. When it comes down the stretch, you got to have winners out there. Guys that know how to close out a game. Nebraska knew how to close out a game. Vanderbilt did not know how to close out a game. Sure, you can ride back to Nashville and talk about what if, the rims, the overinflated balls. Reality is this. You battled back to get there by making game-winning plays. Relaxed after you had full momentum of the game. Nebraska is like, we still got energy, and we know exactly how to beat. Okay, yeah, you're really making it hard for Sanford to get loose. We'll find another way for us to get loose. And Sanford stepped up as well. The most impressive play for Price was getting, physical coverage, left-hand dribble, kind of got a little bit lower, kind of kind of got him off of there with the right shoulder and right foot jab, step back, mid-range jumper.
Oh, yeah, the kind of Dirk fadeaway.
Right.
Yeah.
And reason why that's important, because it shows he has more game than just quick threes. But then also, it was really good defense with a really good defender. And the guy had done really well for the majority of the game. It was actually worth 2 buckets. They beat you at your game, and he got the bucket. So now you're like, what if? It sends everybody else in a tailspin. Sends everybody else into where you're watching versus reacting and communicating. And that's where Nebraska was able to finish down the stretch. And they were playing to win. Vanderbilt was thinking that Nebraska was going to quit. And that's a hard lesson to learn.
It was a tight game. Nebraska led by as many as 10 at 31-21, right around the U4 timeout of the first half. Vandy got up by as much as 5 at 67-62. Largest run for Vandy, 6-0. Largest run for Nebraska, 8-0. I was really impressed, Jay, with how Nebraska managed to meet that moment. We'll get to this from Scott and Lincoln. Did the past 2 games remind you of Nebraska's midseason form, or do you think you will take one more like that? I'll say this. Nebraska found itself in some tight games down the stretch. They didn't necessarily go Nebraska's way until they flipped the script on senior day against Iowa. But the way that Nebraska was able to start that game, the way Nebraska hung in there during the run, and the way Nebraska made the plays late. You mentioned the flip shot from Mast after Vandy takes the lead. That's exactly what Nebraska did against Ohio State. When Nebraska gets up big, the Buckeyes come back, they go right to Mast. It's back and forth down the stretch. Nebraska makes plays, right? I think back to Indiana, right? A game that Nebraska was down big. They made every right play down the stretch to come back and win it. I think about Illinois on the road. I think about Michigan State at home. I think about Kansas State, like you brought up. Even New Mexico, a game that probably shouldn't have been that close against what we now know was a fringy NCAA tournament bubble type of team. But we didn't see that same sort of killer instinct or finishing against Michigan.
That's what I was just about to bring up.
Okay, here's the thing. It's Michigan. They're really good. We'll talk about them coming up. We didn't see it against Illinois at home like we did on the road. Clearly didn't see it against Purdue, right? Maybe the home game you can say, well, credit them for battling back. But Nebraska ends up just a play or two away, right? Nebraska, I don't know if it had lost it or, the coin flips just started going the other way, whatever it was. But I think the Iowa senior day win kind of felt like a turning point. Even though the Purdue game in the Big Ten tournament happened, it's, oh yeah, we can lock in, we can win close games. And they have some of that mojo back, especially now when I think Nebraska will have a coaching advantage or at the worst be dead even.
Yeah.
Fred Hoiberg is an advantage for Nebraska.
Yeah. And well, number one, if you don't think a guy that has like championship pedigree and knows what it's like to be a competitor, then, you don't know what you need in a coach. And that's where, really paid off for Fred, because very easily you could panic. When you look at it, Nebraska led by 10 and they led, 76% of the game. That's
Mhm.
as close to the Michigan letdown as you could say, okay, here we go again. It was great. Then you had to deal with, oh, well, you got one victory. Well, this team, when you have an older team, in this day and time with these young athletes, and most of them only really learn lessons from winning because it's all the fluff and everybody wants to feel good. So now that, they're endorphins and they'll really pay attention to you. Well, you have an older, probably more mature team, very mature team, guys that are actually invested in basketball, invested in trying to live up to their standards and expectations versus trying to reach everybody else's and deal with the outside noise. They're past all that. Really, they kind of turned the page that, or probably about game 16, where they're like, they knew that they were good. And then 4 more games, everybody's like, okay, we'll give you credit. That's the difference, because they left that Michigan game probably more disappointed in the last 2 minutes, whatever it is, than the thought of, well, you played so well, led for 38 minutes of the game, and you didn't have Rink at the time. I think it was a Rink or
Rink was out, and Frager was out.
Rink and Frager. So the whole moral victory was not good enough for him, and it was in their back of mind. Then they had to deal with Illinois game. That's when they were really playing good. They're playing good now, but that's when they're probably one of the hottest teams in the nation. And then the Purdue game, you were kind of sleepwalking. Well, they didn't sleepwalk against Troy. They got a little bit of taste of it, and then they locked right back in, and they were able to, overcome some adversity out of their control with some of the calls and situations, and, were able to push through it, and it's all based on the maturity and togetherness and the leadership. And it's guys that aren't selfish. The guys that needed to step up and make big plays, they did. Guys that, weren't able to do so, they're just fine. They don't lose confidence in each other.
No.
And they know how to play. And, Rink, I think, is and take the threes out of it. Obviously, they're all big, right, for him. It gives him a great advantage. His energy and his body looks, and, however long he was sick, it's, you just don't be sick for 2 weeks. They're like, all right, I'm 100% after I'm playing. So it looks like he's out of that fog. He's playing well. Did a better job than I initially thought against some probably a little bit quicker guys trying to, run and chase. And, they got a really good stronghold on how to get some of those long rebounds. And they were able to take the lead, or eventually, obviously, win the rebounding advantage when it looked like they were on the way to get out rebounded. If you look at the first part of the game, even when they were winning, probably, more than what I'd like, and that's above 8, and they end up winning it. So I like the adjustments, but I think also the effort was there too.
Nebraska shoots 56% overall, 29 of 52. Jay, if you were to tell me that Nebraska would have held Vandy below 75 points, would have felt pretty good about the chances. Now, Nebraska actually got doubled up in 3-point attempts, which is very rare for Nebraska. We know the Huskers allow a lot. Credit Vanderbilt's defensive scheme, I think, for taking away some looks from 3 for Nebraska. But we can probably count on, our 2 hands the number of times in the entire Fred Hoiberg era that Nebraska has gotten up fewer than 23s. That's not usually a recipe success for this team in this program. Now, they were really good when they shot him, 9 of 19 overall. But to only shoot 19 threes, to only shoot 10 free throws, and to win that game, that's just another, I think, feather in the cap for Nebraska to prove that, yeah, we're not just one-dimensional, right? We're not just a 3-point shooting team, or we're not just a defensive team. This is a balanced team.
Yeah.
Anyone can beat you at any given time. And the fact that Nebraska gets 38 points in the paint and makes, 29 of its 52 field goals, credit Nebraska for finding the better shots, not forcing the threes just because, we have to have them, but finding whatever it was that worked. I think there's more versatility in Nebraska than maybe some national folks might give it credit for.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that the adjustments that they are able to do and the cohesiveness, I think, obviously Fred is the head coach, but I think, and I can't speak for Fred. I just go off I know him, so, and we're not friends, but I could talk and, converse with him, and then he goes about his way. But I have a pretty good idea of how he coaches, right? And know Coach Nate a little bit, and Ernie, less than that. But for a head coach to have the openness and to listen to other assistant coaches and then have that continuity in high pressure times. But this even goes into preparation, because sometimes you get in it and you're like, I know this is what we're going to do. and shut everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Leads to what you just talked about, right? Where, okay, we don't shoot as many threes. Okay, that's fine. We'll find a way to beat you at the rack. How many times do they run different actions? And it's like a pistol. They run a pistol. The pistol action is usually ran, I'll just say, at the free throw line level, right? So if you just draw a line from the free throw line
Extended,
over,
yeah.
they ran it a little bit lower and a little bit wider. And then Frager was open, at least one where he was kind of waving his hands. I think Sam might have got one and Price might have got one. And I think Rinka had one. So they're able, okay, you don't want to give that. We'll just keep killing you with the twos. You know what I mean? And we'll take what you get, and then we hit, the threes that you need to hit. And I think they all were in rhythm. And, two big ones from Burke. Let's just say you normally get one, but every other one were shots well within their wheelhouse. So they didn't feel like they needed to play a certain type of basketball to either play to their quote unquote scheme. They played to their strengths, and they played against your weaknesses, where they were trying to take away your strength.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd show you a different way to do it. And it's one that Fred knows. Fred's really good with like actions, and especially if you're coming out of a timeout and all this stuff like that, right? I mean, obviously he was a prolific scorer himself, so he's seen numerous coverages. And again, for a player like Price, Price can go to him and talk about coverages. He's like, Fred's like, I've seen this 85 times. This is what you do on the 86th time. And then he's also the development, what they've been able to do with their players individually and collectively allows them to, I'll call it, tread water until they get back on it. The difference between the last 4 or 5 years of teams, and Fred could tell you this better, versus the beginning is, and obviously the talent level is different, but until he, I guess, had that plan, they couldn't tread water long enough. They would go through droughts. Remember, like you'd hear like 8-9 minutes of just no scoring. Well, I think it changed, in my opinion. It probably was before. I'm about to say this, when Greasel came in and they would go to, big guard on the low block and get something going. Then you had, other guys that could play off of that. That's the momentum stoppers and the momentum extenders. Now they're able to do that with different people via their improvement and development in the offseason. If you don't want anything, if you don't want to believe it or not, whether it's his birthday or not, Sam Hoiberg be able to kind of cross you over, get downhill, left hand, finish against what's his name, Miles, right? Who is supposed to be one of their better defenders. That's one improvement for Sam. 2, it's belief in your players. And 3, it's a schematic adjustment, knowing that you don't think he can get to the rack, and he can. And that's also the difference between the coaching staffs or not. Because if you want to look at the Illinois game that we mentioned at home where they lost, when they started to kind of make their comeback is when Sam went in there and challenged the big guys, and he actually made the basket. So when you're a little guard, you have to be strategic on how you attack the bigger defenders. Now, this is one of the same size. So that's one of the things that I think Nebraska's done really well, and they don't get enough credit for it.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you, because even if Nebraska does still have a 4-minute field goal drought or whatever, they're not getting outscored 8-0 or 11-0, right? Maybe they'll get a couple free throws here or there, but it's usually like 5-0 or 6-0.
Yeah.
Because the defense is there.
Yeah.
They're still locked in. So even if things aren't going well offensively, Nebraska is much more locked in defensively. And then to your point, I mean, Nebraska's gone to Sam Hoiberg to just get downhill and get to the rim so many times this year, right? Sam's kind of been that guy, and exactly like you said, that Greasel kind of mold. We just need something, right? We just got to get a couple points on the board. Maybe not how we drew it up or what we drew up, but just for the good of seeing the scoreboard change. Nebraska goes to Sam Hoiberg in those moments, and it's worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Lots to get to on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. You guys stay with us here, 402-464-5685. We will get to your thoughts on Nebraska Vanderbilt, Nebraska Iowa, and more as we continue Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers this afternoon. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy. High around 52. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover with a continued breeze. The low around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. Be breezy and warm with a high near 72. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes a complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
A good grade, a kind word, a new friend, or even trying something new. These are the victories worth celebrating. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. When parents celebrate effort at school, kids gain confidence. So keep encouraging them. Every small step they take is building a stronger path to success. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Hour one of the show presented by the good folks over at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based down in Hallam, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and lifetime warranties on everything while keeping their prices affordable. To learn more, you can call 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. I'm Austin. He's Jay. Appreciate you being along for the ride here. Let's get to our starter, Heyman Jewelers text line. Eric says, how about those Huskers fellas? Kepsker says, it's been the best week of Husker events ever. Go Big Red. Burke hitting those 2 threes shocked me, I'll be honest. Well, run Burke, Buchton Gel here, Jay. I've said this to a couple people. I don't know if it's made it to air, but if it hasn't, I'll say it now. I really think Burke can be an 11-point per game guy next year for Nebraska.
Oh, easy.
I think that, I mean, the cop-out rationale for that is, well, look how he scored it in Turkey. Okay, that's not the entirety of my rationale. But I mean, what if Burke is a 33% three-point shooter? And what if he's allowed the freedom to operate offensively, right? I think, that's a guy that Nebraska brought in because they thought he could be a versatile piece offensively, that he would shoot it probably a little bit better than he has so far. But I also think, Jay, that with the offensive struggles, I wonder if Berkey Buchtenjel has been told to focus on defense and rebounding if the light just hasn't clicked for him yet, when it comes to the offensive side of the game. That's not to say he's behind mentally, but I think he's just been so locked into how important he is defensively in doing the little things on offense that I think that's a guy that Nebraska could, I'm not saying will, but could empower next offseason, just kind of pump life into him, say, hey, we know you can score. Don't be afraid to go to work in the post, right? If you're open, let it rip. Because there have been some moments, and I think it's generally prescient of him to have passed up some of the threes that he has in the course of the season. But I would love to know what a confident Berkay Buchtenjel looks like offensively, because we see flashes of the guy that scored, 20 a game for Turkey at the youth levels. That guy's in there somewhere. I think he's just waiting for that light bulb to come on at the college level.
Yeah, well, I think, earlier in the year, when he was like at 8-8 or whatever, that's what you expect to be the floor next year.
Yeah.
And you also you got to tip your hat to him as he's seen Sam's role start to expand. And then obviously Frager as well, right? So that limits a little bit of your opportunities. And Frager comes in. A lot of times it was for him or whatever. And then when Price really started to go off, and as you get later in the season, your roles become more defined. It's either less or more. And he didn't have to score as much. He didn't need him to score as much. They needed to be, a dog defensively and bring the energy and kind of have that, toughness that he doesn't know any better. And that's what he's doing. But I think I would assume and be willing to bet money. And I think Burke feels I think he feels comfortable here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, number one, listen, he had the wherewithal and they had the ability to communicate with him effectively that he needed to get in better shape.
Mm-hmm.
He did that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that lets you know he's coachable and he's also realistic. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He also saw some payoff in that.
Yeah.
So, and also, if it's within their plans, is that when they say, hey, look, this is what we want you to do, and this is what your role can be, and this is where your floor would be, bare minimum, maximum could be, and start to piece together your team for next year. And then also they've shown the development they've done in the offseason. There's no doubt about it, he can do it. And so now they just got to continue along and keep getting the positive things out of him. He played 32 games this year. He's been there every single time, playing a couple more minutes than he did last year. But, I think he's a little bit more effective. And so He's shooting a better field goal percentage, and so you got to give him his credit where he's really took some lumps last year. Some cases rightfully so, but there was adjustment period, and he didn't quit. He very easily could have jumped in the portal and said, "I'm out of here," and went somewhere else and started over and took the easy road. He's actually stepped it up, and he's a big part of the team in their success, and that's why they're a team. They needed him to now just say he didn't hit the 2 threes. Let's just say he hit 1 3, and then he got a big 3-point play. They needed extra plays out of him.
Mm-hmm.
They needed that version of him in order to get over the hump. And every single time, well, for majority of the season, somebody's been willing to step up and had the opportunity to step up, and Burke's no different.
2690 says, I've watched Burke in practice. He's a good shooter. Granted, in game, it's different, but he's more than capable. Capable, yes. I don't know if I can quite get to calling him a good shooter. There's just so many inconsistencies with that motion, right? Sometimes it's really good gooseneck for him. Other times it's kind of a push. Sometimes he'll kind of just do the flick of the wrist. Sometimes he gets too cool for school. Sometimes he'll flick the wrist. There's this weird side spin on his shot. When it looks good, it looks good.
Yeah, that's
I
call that the celebrity wave.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you're going going through the parade.
Yeah. So I think there's just still too many inconsistencies in his shot for him to be what I would consider a good shooter, but capable enough to threaten the defense. Yeah, I mean, I think he can make 1 and 3. 52-15. I've never seen Mass play that hard and physical. He and Burke were so physical and hunting contact. Jay, you mentioned this. Rink Mass looks different, looks better. Are we saying Rink Mass is back after the first weekend of the NCAA tournament?
Yeah. I mean, I think I never really lost confidence in him. Because all the shots when they weren't falling, they were good shots. And he just a little bit obviously they weren't going in, and I felt like getting sick like that, it was a little bit off, and then look, when you're older guy trying to work through the length of this season, you kind of go through some lulls, and then people started to put a magnifying glass on Rink because of everybody else starting to really take off. Well, it's part of being in a team, and I could equate it to football. There's times that where I might have went on a run of 14 plus tackles a game and a couple tackles for losses. And then, then here goes, in this case, Sam Coward or Jamie Sharper, they go, and then I'm down at 7 or 8. And I mean, I'm not playing bad. So other people are playing good, or that I'm playing bad, other people are playing good. So I think obviously being able to stretch from that 5 spot, 4 or 5, whatever you want to call him, obviously he's at the jump ball. Then you could say he's back, and he's going to make plays anyways. He's gotten better around off the block. If he gets a chance to get busy against Iowa, he's got to, make some hay in there. It's not just the threes. It's just his effectiveness and efficiency with the ball that are leading the points, not only for himself, but his teammates.
Dan from Canopy says a better Frager plus a better Mass this time. I will take Fred and company in the third game against Iowa. Go Big Red. It's going to be really important, Jay. I'm trying to pull up the box score from that previous game, but the fact that Nebraska was able to pull out the senior day win against Iowa is huge. But Fred Hoiberg mentioned it in his press conference today as well. He thinks he's got the fearless Frager back. In between Rink Mass, if he can carry that over for a second straight weekend and Frager acting like himself, man, that gives Nebraska two more guys that could be X factor.
Yeah, you want him to go out there and play his game. I mean, I think, Fred's played with enough players and coached enough players that have different personalities and different egos or whatever you want to call it, that obviously, you don't want to have to try to turn them up. You want to make sure you just be able to turn them down enough to where they don't expose themselves to a game altering play. So, look, I mean, I think the way that they run their offense puts Frager's in position that where he can take advantage of guys, and he's done a really good job like that. I think his ability to use his body and be physical enough and and finish around the hoop to go along with his ability to hit threes, causes problems for, let's just say, your third or fourth best defender. Your best defender probably going to be on Price. You're going to have to put somebody else on Rankin, say Sam or something like that. And then if you're putting your second best defender on Frager, well, then the other guys are going to get off. And the way that their offense flows and the pace that they play at, it really lessens the ability to really focus in on one guy. And look, a guy that plays with some edge is definitely what they need. Obviously, when you look at the dynamics of that team, you need some guys that have some edge. I think, quietly, Price and those guys do play with enough edge, but I think when you get a guy that can turn it up and come and bring a little bit more. I'll say that you don't know what you don't know. Fire, a young player. I think it's definitely bodes well for the team long term.
On senior day, Rink Mast had 14 points in 35 minutes, 4 of 9 overall, 2 of 6 from 3. Also had 3 rebounds. Braden Frager off the bench only played 18 minutes, 6 points, only took 2 shots, was 1 of 2, missed his 3, and went 4 or 5 at the free throw line with 2 assists and a steal. So, yeah, maybe a little bit more in the tank for those 2 guys. Let's keep going on our starter Heyman Jewelers text line here. David, no. Still waiting. Westy says, what do y'all think about that foul that Burke had when 99 hit the deck? A flop or a foul?
Probably a little bit more of acting of a flop, I thought.
McLaughlin's not small.
No, that's what I'm saying. If it was like a guard or something like that, but hey, that's just part of teams you play, and I like it because when you get guys flopping, that lets you know they're a little desperate. And
this is in the first half.
That they're a little desperate.
Man.
I can almost guarantee you what Vanderbilt thought. You want to know honestly what they thought?
Yes, always.
We playing against a bunch of white dudes from Nebraska. I know. I've coached against teams like this. I've seen. I could read
white kids from Nebraska you've coached against.
I've coached them, and I've played against teams that thought you play and ran them off the court. I've played with guys and against guys. I could read it right from the get-go. We're from the SEC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ours are better than yours.
We're bigger, faster, stronger.
Right. Nickel's better than Price, right? And Nickel says, okay, just like what Larry Bird talked about Kelly Tripruka, I got him, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you exactly what they were thinking. And the coach, you could tell by his body language. They looked unprepared. That's what they were thinking. We playing these little dopey white dudes from Nebraska. They couldn't beat Purdue. They really aren't that good. It's a feel-good story.
They have to bring down all these people,
right,
and it's unfair to us.
And we're going to shut them up. And we played it. And we've been on the road to Alabama. We went to Florida and all this. We're tougher than those guys. So once that didn't work out, that's where desperation started to come in. You see it. I mean, and it could be, you see it in football sometimes. You see it with individual players. You see it with sometimes the coaches and stuff like that. They get real desperate. They try to work the refs, and then they start to try to get into other teams' players. You see it all the time. That's what they thought. And then once they got into it, they were like, oh, these dudes are actually pretty good. These dudes actually can play.
We got to turn it up.
We got to turn it up. And they did turn it up.
Mm-hmm.
But then the part of the reason why you kind of faltered down the end and everybody's like, oh, it was so close and all that is because you didn't come into the game focused to dominate. You came into focus, thought you were going to intimidate Nebraska. Well, these are older guys. These guys aren't a bunch of freshmen.
Right.
They played Michigan on the road.
To 3 points.
To 3 points. What would they be scared of you for? Or worried about what, you know what I mean?
Who do you think you are?
And no, you guys aren't Michigan.
No.
Obviously. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
not even Arkansas.
Right.
As we found out.
Right. So that's what they were thinking. And they got a harsh reality of sports is played between the white lines and lines.
Cubsiker says 99 looked like he was selling a WWE clothesline. I thought it was entirely a flop. I didn't think Berke leaned into 99 at all. Berke was just standing there.
He's talking about the one Frager hit him with. Where they reviewed that one. That was Frager.
I thought it was
It was
Buchanan, Joe, wasn't it?
No, it was Frager. Now that one's questionable.
At best.
No. You could have got dinged up with it though. That one I could see. Because it was after.
Okay.
That was a Detroit Pistons. You missed the layup. Sorry. And just kept. It was a Rick Mahorn. Remember when he did the booty bump?
Yeah.
Now you could have got him with that, but
All
it was still. Fine. I like it that the refs didn't ding him up for it because it was going back.
Understanding the stakes, the moment, the emotions.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Get out of the way and let the ball be the ball.
2 more from the text line here. Actually, let's just do 1 more and then we'll go to break
Riley,
the other one.
W. Is that Riley Washington, a former Nebraska player?
I don't know.
Doubt it.
Could be.
I doubt it.
Strail from Pawnee City. I feel like that Florida-Iowa game was one of those knockdown, drag-out fights that's going to take a toll on Iowa. Also, Price hasn't had a monster game against his former team yet. He's about to go off.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Iowa game at Iowa was a little disappointing because of the thirst for the fight didn't come on right away, right? And it did, and then we ran out of, they were able to beat us at home. I felt like the one at home on Senior Day that Nebraska should have won, in my opinion, anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 points. I felt like they were a better team the whole time. I felt like the emotion of Senior Day kind of takes away that, rivalry, and they kind of had control of the game. And then obviously, was it Combs had the game of his life, and hit the big three to give him in overtime. And I think overtime was the reality of what should have been, and which is Nebraska winning.
Nebraska wins it by 9 in Lincoln on Senior Day. It was Iowa by 5 in Iowa City in mid-February. We'll be back. We have more to talk about on this game, and we'll talk all things Nebraska, Iowa coming up at 4.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
A membership with John Henry's will fast-track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing. Heating
and electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we are very excited to announce our spring sales event happening now at Coppell. We have 0% financing or up to $13,000 off select GMC and Chevrolet inventory. You heard that right, 0%. Or $13,000 off select inventory. We'd love to see you at the store or check us out online at coppellcars.com. Folks, this is really confident buying and confident driving. Stock number C127238 and G173977 with approved credit.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
A good grade, a kind word, a new friend, or even trying something new. These are the victories worth celebrating. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. When parents celebrate effort at school, kids gain confidence. So keep encouraging them. Every small step they take is building a stronger path to success. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new Delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
At Suizo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwizo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School, hour one of which brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you here. Short segment here, but we will stick with the text line and the Nebraska-Iowa theme to lead off hour 4, or at 4 o'clock hour, I should say. 0326 on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line says, it's always difficult to play your doppelganger. We get 2 in a row, Vandy and Iowa. I would not necessarily consider Vanderbilt or Iowa a doppelganger for Nebraska, right? I mean, maybe a little bit with the no middle defense that both programs like to run for Nebraska and Vanderbilt, but with Vandy running everything through the guards in a pretty heavy pick and roll system compared to what Nebraska does. And then Iowa's really heliocentric system on offense is pretty much the exact opposite, plus the pressure defense. Here's the thing, there's familiarity between Nebraska and Iowa. I just don't think there's similarity.
No, and especially the way Vandy plays, they just kind of come down and just it's straight up like you get yours, I get mine, I hit the open shot, and then once it's rolling, it's really rolling. Now they have more continuity offensively than what I'm giving credit for, but it's not as efficient as Nebraska and or at Iowa at times. I think Iowa and those guys know exactly what they want to do. They marry themselves on both ends of the court. Vandy's kind of, and they do too. I just think there's no correlation between the two. I think it's going to come down to Iowa and Nebraska, both teams that play it real tight to the vest. They're going to, Iowa's going to try to be physical, hit some big threes. They got some 3s and 4s that can hit threes. And so you always got to be on point, and then you got to really stop the dribble, drive, and kick, and the guy that kind of controls the basketball. And Sturtson, and he's really effective when he gets going. Now, I think, I saw a stat where he played over 40 minutes the last 6 or 7 games. You don't recover from that. And so you really got to kind of know that he stirs the pot. The last play is indicative of that. He's going to have an effect on every positive outcome in any game, in any possession that Iowa has. And so you start and stop with him. Now, Nebraska does it a little bit differently, right? And so they kind of take 5 is stronger than 1. Iowa thinks more our 1 is stronger and makes our 1 makes our 5 stronger than your 5. So there is a lot of similarity in what's probably going. What are you going to call it? Farmageddon?
Sure. Heck yeah. Fired up.
The Corn Nation Championship.
Man.
I mean, it's. I mean, I think it's going to be a game. I mean, I think Nebraska should be plenty confident going in this game. Because to be frank, I think they're just a better team.
Need to prove it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one. Let's talk about this Nebraska-Iowa game. Maybe some thoughts from Fred Hoiberg as well. Now we're to the show.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Dio Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Dio Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diotech online at diotech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales,
compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myInspartners.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go into hour 2 of the show. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Brought to you by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. 4 locations here in the city. More than just tires, brakes, oil changes, everything in between. Check them out, Graham Tire Company. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, I mentioned this last week before I left for OKC. Said, if Nebraska is able to advance to the second weekend, could be Florida, could be Prairie View A&M, probably not. Could be Clemson, could be Iowa. I said, hey, it'd be kind of fun. We could get Nebraska, Florida running it back like 95. And you said, nah, I want the rival.
Yeah.
I want that Iowa smoke. Merry Christmas.
Hey, man, listen, I don't know why people want to just backdoor their way into it's almost like people want to play Florida.
We were not asking to backdoor. I was asking for Florida.
Yeah, but people not you. But in general, people are like, oh, if they play Florida, defending national champs, it's like a soft landing. Like, all right, it's no big deal if we lose to Florida versus we got to play Iowa, and they're always a thorn in our side. Do you want to be a champion? Do you want to be a chump? Because I only like champions. I like the championship mindset. Bring it. Bring it on. Iowa wants to come, and their coach is great. They got a great team. They're going to be tough. They know us. We know them. It's going to be Farmageddon, the redneck rumble, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You could, whatever the name you would but at the end of the day, we got to go play basketball, or they got to go play basketball, and you can't back down from any. If you really have goals, you're gonna have to go through a team like Iowa. Iowa had played a really good game to beat Florida, and you've beaten Iowa. So look, you're gonna play on a neutral floor. You're gonna have different refs and all this stuff. So you just gotta go play your game. I don't know why people are so worried about Iowa. In basketball. Football, I understand. And I know they've been pretty successful against us in basketball and going up, especially at there, and they've been a tough out. But you gotta be when you're a competitor, you gotta be willing to lay it on. There is nothing like this that they're going through ever in their life. You playing for all the marbles. This isn't in the big, oh yeah, we play Michigan State next week. Oh no. It's win or you die.
We play Iowa Thursday.
Yeah.
And if we don't get that one,
we at the crib. So this is what it's all about. This is what you go through all this stuff for. You got to think this team's came a long way. People didn't give them a chance after, whenever the portal class came out last year. Coming off of, you won the crown, but you didn't even make the Big Ten tournament. There's all these things that people had doubts about, and they knew exactly who they were. They lost Janowski, who was supposed to be a big part of the team this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at St. Thomas and had a pretty good year, as well up there. And so, for this team right here is built a little different. That you could tell these guys are all connected. They're all really good kids. For the ones that I've met, and talked to and stuff, and they're obviously really good coaches, and they're tougher than what people give them credit for, and this is a big game for them.
Yeah, they were fantastic to talk to in the locker room as well. Welcoming, answered all the questions, the good ones, the bad ones, and everything in between. Text line, let us know, 402-464-5685. Excited, scared, nervous, frustrated, upset that you get Nebraska versus Iowa. Let us know here. Boone and Firth says, if I was on the Nebraska team, I would much rather play Iowa than the defending national champion 1 seed Florida Gators. Well, there's been, what is it? The number of 1 seeds or defending champions that have advanced to the Sweet 16 the following year. Not a very long list. You're essentially looking at UConn when they went back to back. It was one of the first champions in a while to actually make it back to the second weekend. Yeah, here we go. Starting with 2016 Villanova. The only national champ to get out of the first weekend the following year has been 2024 UConn. Think about that. Now, I'm not saying Florida was always screwed. I'm not saying it was always over for them. But I think, again, you get a shot at Iowa. This is ultimate stakes, right? This is rivalry trump card in a lot of ways. That's high risk, high reward. And for the players, I hope they are chomping at the bit. I hope they are fired up beyond belief. Yeah, I saw more emotion from these Nebraska players Thursday and Saturday than I might have seen from them in entire months of the regular season. These players have a sense of the moment.
Yeah.
They know what it means, and I hope they come out fired up and ready to play Iowa and put them in their place, to be quite frank, right? Nebraska's favored barely. It's a tight line. It should be 2 tight games between these two teams. I will say this. That's how the players should feel and how I'm sure they do feel.
Yeah.
They're going to be ready. They're going to be fired up. We know there's absolutely no love lost between the head coach and that other university.
Right.
As a fan, I lived through the 2022 Final Four. It's not the same. I saw someone saying this is going to make Duke Carolina, look like child's play. No, it's not.
No.
It's still probably the greatest rivalry in sports we're talking about over there. It was arguably the greatest college basketball head coach of all time's final season. It was in the biggest stage of the sport. Yeah, this is a fantastic, incredible game where emotions are going to be running high. But Nebraska, Iowa in the Sweet 16 won't match Duke, Carolina in the Final Four. I'm not sure anything can. But I think the same kind of trump card element is at play. Carolina can hold over Duke. They ruined Krzyzewski's home finale and that they knocked him off in the Final Four. They can hold that over him forever. Think about the fact that this is Nebraska's greatest basketball team ever. Hands down right now. Most wins in program history. First 2 wins in the NCAA tournament in program history. They're the best. It's not disputed. And if an Iowa team with a first-year head coach, ragtag band of misfits, can hold over you that, hey, look, this was your best team ever, and we beat you twice, what do you do to come back from that? Again, now that's the player's concern.
Yeah.
Just from the fan perspective.
You're going to play them again. Look, man, if you're going to, listen, I think Nebraska fans need to have a dose of reality. You see this in football as well. Listen, in order to be a champion, you have to be able to lay it on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just might lose.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really are a competitor, you're going to win it more times than not. And sure, the stakes are higher, right? And sure, this is a great team. It's the best team, obviously by the wins and what you've accomplished, in Nebraska history. But that doesn't mean, anything's for loss. You should be up there talking about what if. Like, what if you don't approach a game like this. You're talking about, look, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to win this game, and we're going to do it too. And they can't stop us. That's what you need to be breathing into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if they beat you, you could play a really good game. Nebraska could play a really good game and still lose. And they could play great and start hitting everything, and they could have some things go their way. And that's the way it goes. Sure, you'd have to listen to the fans and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, there's only one team that's happy at the end of the year. And that's the mindset you need to have. You don't win a championship. I don't want first place, second place trophies.
No.
First place, third place. I don't want any of that. I don't need it. We're done. We're past all that. I was in the way. They're no different than the team that they played before. Don't build them up into something that they're not. Respect them like hell and beat the dog tar out of them. Period.
Mm.
Now, it's not going to be easy but at this
but it
point,
will be worth it.
Yeah, but at this point, nobody you play is going to be easy to beat. Like, say High Point was able to win their game. Whoever is playing them, it's not going to be easy to beat High Point.
Right.
That you don't get to the Sweet 16 by being average.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the Sweet 16 by going through some stuff and beating some teams. And even if you had, like, let's just say, for instance, you had a 12 and a 13 seed playing to get to the Sweet 16. Whoever came out of that game is worthy to get to the Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah.
Now you just got to go play like it. And, it's just somebody you know very well. But what's the difference in, like you say, Duke, Carolina, in the Final Four? They know each other, but it's still a lot more on the line. But I like Nebraska's chances. I know it's 3.5. I like the way this game sets up. I'm a big believer of watching the whole game and believing that Nebraska is the better team. I felt like, you could always do this thing, and Iowa could say the same thing. It's senior day and all that, but I just felt like Nebraska let Iowa off the hook last game. I think this
maybe the game before too.
Yes,
in some ways.
And I think the game before is more self-inflicted at the beginning.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Right. This one was more at the end, just kind of like, all right, kind of watching, and the clock got a little bit slower. I think if you step off that bus with the intention of imposing your will and breaking these dudes, I don't think they're going to blow them out by any means. But I think you'll finish the job, and it'll look a lot different than the last home game.
Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Excited, nervous. What's the emotion for you with Nebraska facing Iowa coming up on Thursday? Justin from Hickman. What could be better than sending your rival home while you advance to the Elite Eight? This is a dream matchup. Cubsker says it all started last season when Iowa eliminated Nebraska from the Big Ten tournament contention. It's time to give them a taste of their own medicine. I'm nervous but excited at the same time. Bo Lever says, love it. I'm in my first year of really watching basketball. What more could you want? All right. Good attitude, Husker fans. Really like that. Really appreciate that. Scott from Bancroft. Nebraska 82, Iowa 62.
That'd be
fire me up.
Oh,
man.
The Iowa fan base would probably mute all their music. Oh, they would get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably be driving back to Iowa that night.
How far can a basketball win go in papering over the last decade of football?
Well, for Nebraska?
For Nebraska. For the fan base.
It will go all the way in. You will go, that will cover it all the way up until we play them next year.
Mm.
Because for Iowa, they're like, well, this isn't even our sport. This is, wrestling and football are sports. So I think it can go a long way. I think it could really, I think what the basketball team, and I think, first of all, I think what the volleyball team has done on a consistent basis, and then with the basketball team, the baseball team, even at times, maybe not this year, but the women's basketball team as well, baseball team and the softball team was able to do. I think it's really could, if approached and used the right way, help the football team. And also the peer pressure of, we've been where you were, we came out of it. If you look at how we were able to do it, some of the teaching moments and coaching tips or whatever they did in the offseason, as far as Fred goes and the crew goes, that's something that you can apply to the football team to really exceed expectations this year, based on what the schedule that you have and what people are assuming what your schedule is going to, or what your win-loss is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows how good you are besides you, or what you're willing to do, or what you did do in order to get that. That's where this team, that's where it can really help them, on top of really kind of keep them in the shadows, which is probably the best thing for this football team, is because I fully expect Nebraska to get to the grade 8 and potentially the Final Four, right? But it won't just stop then. And I know it. The H-Town Cougars, I know what you're talking. Five Slam a Jam. I know Clyde Drexler and all them going to be there on Saturday night. And Calvin Sampson's going to try to be all up in your Grizzle. Yeah. And Ramon Walker Jr. is starting to come back from his injury, and he's starting to play more. I understand that. But I've seen Houston not to be able to hit the broadside of a barn, too.
And that has also happened. You are correct.
So, but I don't think this season, in what went into it and all that stuff stops then.
Yeah, no.
Which I think bodes well for the football team.
Mhm.
They'll be able to recruit. They'll be able to they'll be well into their off season then. And Fred, and then you'll get it really another kind of shadow, let's call it, because Fred and those guys are recruiting.
Mhm.
They got the Rice kid coming in that played really well this year. I'm pretty sure he's going to pull another, cat out of the bag or whatever you call it, rabbit out of the bag, somebody else they could recruit based off what this year portal that flows into the offseason. If I'm the football team and I'm a football player, I like to be underneath the radar.
Almost need to be.
I like
at this
though.
point. And when I'm going to start putting that out there, when Nebraska beats Iowa, spring game, easy second story of the day.
Yeah.
Easily the second story.
Oh,
it might even be behind
Nebraska
softball against UCLA.
Nebraska beats Iowa. The spring, it's definitely chill.
Mhm.
It's definitely, because that game Saturday night would be what? 7?
Probably. Yeah. Well, I think usually the tips are 5 and 7:30.
Yeah.
So
Duncan Aviation.
Hey.
Here we come.
there you have it. Big Bank Hank, I'm pumped for this game. My in-laws are Iowans, so Nebraska has to win. And that's just the thing. Jay, I need Nebraska's players to understand, and I'm sure they do, just how much the fan base and they need to win the game. This isn't one that would be nice to have. Like you said, it's not like you can look ahead to the next game. There's got to be a special sort of desperation and hunger that I think this team can play with without, getting overextended.
Yeah,
Exactly.
overextended, for sure. These guys are going to take it personal. I mean, look, I know Sam, like, he's a little dude, and, you know what I mean? He yoked up, you know what I'm saying? He got the little Barry White voice going on. He got the personality and stuff like that. Don't think he ain't a savage, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sam's.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
But these guys know they'll step up. And so, they don't need to get out of character. This is the great thing about, I can't tell Fred what to tell the team, but I look at it like this is a great thing about this game. You don't have to get out of character to beat this game. You just got to stay 10 toes down. You just got to be you. Go out there and be a hell of a competitor, and we're going to play hard. We're going to be vicious and all this other stuff. But we don't have to overextend ourselves in order to meet this challenge of Iowa. I feel that Iowa had to overextend themselves to handle Florida. It worked out well for them, and big, commendable to their coach, because that last play he really outcoached your boy. I call him 5-finger discount over there from Florida. You know what I mean? When you ran the horn action, you let him catch it. I knew it was. I was watching the game. Once I know, I was like, this. Once he got the 3 in the corner, I was like, it's game.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a good thing. I wouldn't say it's a place of comfort. It's a place of calm ease that you can build up to a more known mindset to, go out there and do what you need to do versus going against a team that you're kind of like external things are kind of getting you there. Then you could be 10 minutes in the game playing way over your skis. And then you're like, why did I even do that?
Right.
You don't have to really prepare for any regret, for this game.
7543 says, great thing about it, Fred hates Iowa as much as Nebraska fans do. Yeah, I mentioned that when we started talking about this. Phil says, I hope Price has a monster game, but Fred is going to have to be in the ref's ears early about whichever Hawkeye is assigned to grab and hold him from getting open, which the announcers will likely pass off as good physical defense. The refs in the Vandy game finally caught on to Tyler Nichols' act. Yeah, I mean, I haven't double-checked this, but someone was saying Nebraska didn't get called for a foul in the last 9 minutes after Nebraska started getting, some calls against Vanderbilt in the first half. Then it seemed like Nebraska got whistled for a bunch of fouls there to start the second half, and then the whistle dried up. Wildly inconsistently officiated game against Vanderbilt. You credit both teams for pushing through it. On net, probably about equal and about the same. But, Jay, even if it is, just good physical defense, if you want to call it that, Nebraska already busted out the adjustment in Lincoln. It's putting Price Sanford in the post.
Yeah.
On Bennett Sturz, right? That's the guy that's guarded him the vast majority of the time. So if that's what Iowa wants to do again, Nebraska's more than comfortable with that. I'm sure Fred Hoiberg will be talking about it. I don't know who the officials will be, but they're supposed to be some of the better ones when you get down to these last 2 weekends of the season. But yeah, expect Iowa to be physical, to grab and hold, to see what they can get away with. Vandy got away with quite a bit until they didn't. So Nebraska, I think, has maybe a little bit of a benefit from having seen Iowa to end the regular season, an aggressive Vanderbilt team that was really handsy in the round of 32, and then immediately having to turn around and face a similar yet slightly different, Iowa defense as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, teams are going to try to be physical with you, and that's just the nature of basketball, and they're going to see what they're going to get away with because it's no different than they talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and how they get away with holding on a lot, and they're putting the onus on the refs to make calls and stuff. And so what Nebraska's done, especially this last game against Vanderbilt, now let's just focus on Price because obviously you play at Iowa. It felt like they were over aggressive and excessive against them up at Iowa. Nebraska made an easy adjustment, not an easy adjustment, but a really good adjustment to offset that this last home game. But let's just look about how Vanderbilt played them. They tried that. The best thing that he did was just be patient. He did. He had 0 points probably until the last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half. Then he got to 2, and then I think he might have hit a 3, and then obviously he was off to the races. And then he showed a different part of his bag in order to offset that physicality or whatever you want to call it. Airtight defense. And it worked out well for him. And then also I think it allowed, later in the game, because he started to really heat up and they actually made him more efficient because he was like, all right, this shot, I'm busting your head open. All right, I'll pass it. Cool. You want to stand next to me? I'll take a rest. Okay, I'll go. So you actually made it a little bit easier on him, right? Because he didn't have to. Sometimes you can scramble so much. I got to get open, and you're just out of gas, and you're not really ever open.
And then you're sped up mentally.
He just stayed cool, calm, and collective. But that over-aggressive defense, right, of being so hyper-focused on him, allowed Rank to get the pullback or putback, and Sammy to get the putback.
And Frager to get the layup.
And I was just about to say, allowed him to make the ultimate team play when you're a superstar to think like, all right, he could very easily could have came down and forced a shot up. Passed it, easy too. So all that stuff worked against you. So it shows the maturity of it. And it's obviously commendable for Price, to do that as well.
We'll go to break. More of Old School on the other side.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Good news, LES customers. Even though their lobby at 2620 Fairfield Street closes July 31st, they've still got plenty of convenient ways to support you. Find your best options at les.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
A good grade, a kind word, a new friend, or even trying something new. These are the victories worth celebrating. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. When parents celebrate effort at school, kids gain confidence. So keep encouraging them. Every small step they take is building a stronger path to success. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in to Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to the good folks over at Schwezo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at schwezo.com, schwisow.com. 40 years strong in business. Schwezo Construction, 402-464-5685. Jay, got this from Brad in Baldwin. Who's the X factor for Nebraska against Iowa here in this third matchup?
That's a good question. I mean, everything being equal, I'm going to say Frager. And I think it's not going to be necessarily on the on the offense. I think it's going to be more defense. I think he can really get out on the guys that killed us last game. Was it Koch? Right?
Koch, Cooper Koch. Yeah. There's like 17 different ways to pronounce that last name.
Koch did a really good. I mean, he hit a two big threes
Huge
from the
ones.
corner.
Mm-hmm.
And Frager was still kind of gimpy. That I remember it kind of looked like, but so I think he can get out on him. And then I think he in a switch, I think he can do a good enough job against the European guy, number 7.
Fulgaris.
Yeah, Fulgaris. So I think he's going to be the X factor because also what I think he can do defensively, kind of allowing the other guys to, play their defense on the backside. I think offensively he poses problems to them as well. And this is a different Frager that you're playing right now than you played last game.
91-74, Nebraska needs a rink mass from Saturday. Feel good about its chances to win. I mean, those both make sense to me between Frager and Mast. I will say, I think DeMarcus Lawrence having another, 9+ point outing could go a long way and taking care of the ball, right? Nebraska did turn it over 12 times against Vanderbilt, but Lawrence and Hoiberg combined for 3.
Yeah.
Cale Jacobson had 3 on his own, and so did Frager in that game. And Jay, of course, Cale Jacobson was the hero for Nebraska. Led him in scoring, hit the 2 threes that gave Nebraska the lead, and then broke the 5-5 tie in overtime and really kickstarted Nebraska. Cale Jacobson did not look comfortable against Vanderbilt from the jump. And if Nebraska's going to be in foul trouble again, or if it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight again, Cale Jacobson's got to rediscover the form he had on senior day, because I don't know if Nebraska will be able to survive a backcourt battle if they get in foul trouble or they need another body to throw at Sturts, if Jacobson's going to be kind of spooked or just loose with the ball like he was.
Yeah, I think, we talked off air, I just felt like if Nebraska just tightens up, just not be, obviously after last game you need to. I felt a little way too casual with the basketball. I think there were some factors that led into that, obviously with the whole senior day and all this other stuff. I think that'll really up their offensive efficiency. I think you'll be able to get inside against Iowa and make some hay earlier than you did last game, which then it will open up the more strategic threes, or you could go vice versa. Now, Iowa had to play a little bit different against Florida. They had to play a bigger unit to offset their size, right? So now they have to get back on track because generally they are essentially 4 forward guards, and 1 bigger guy, which bodes well for Nebraska because we match up very well. So, but I think Nebraska's also added a little wrinkle with Price down there. And then you could do Rink when he's able to get his back to the basket. He's added a little bit to his game. So I think all those factors will allow Nebraska to be better with the basketball because it's a different type of pressure than you faced against Vandy. And I think once it kind of started going a little bit downhill, it took Nebraska just a couple minutes to get back offensively back on track.
Yeah.
But they were able, the grimy plays is what did it. It wasn't anything fancy. It was putbacks, back cuts, running your sets, easy 2s. It's very easy when you kind of start to lose momentum. What do you think the regular teams, even in the Sweet 16, need to hit a big 3? They didn't have to lean on that.
No.
So that's where the confidence, I think, go to. Now, just the ball handling, the crispness of the passing needs to be there because a team that was in a very physical game, even though it will be 3 days ago for Iowa.
Yeah.
Right? It still has an effect. How do you – obviously, you don't have Florida size. You're able to do that, really replicate that by the speed, where you're getting into the guy's shot. I call it the shot zone. The crispness of your passes. That wears on a team after about 5 or 10 minutes. Like, dang, these dudes, look, I'm playing pretty good defense. They're catching and they're able to kind of get closer to the paint, 2 feet in the paint, and they're starting to get easy buckets. Then you start to see guys start to really look at each other because, lo and behold, Florida was able to get to the rack against Iowa off the bounce. Bodes well for Nebraska.
Yeah. Someone sent us a tweet from Arbitrary Analytics on Twitter. Bennett Sturts has just 14 games this season where he's been held to 17 points or fewer. 6 of those 14 games under 17 have come in Iowa's last 7 games. And Nebraska has a 1-day rest advantage, which could be huge for Nebraska in helping slow him down with fresh legs. Yeah, Jay, I think that's maybe one of those nice kind of fringe benefits is that Iowa played yesterday, relatively late yesterday as well.
So, and you got to travel.
And then you got to travel right back. I presume they will leave the same time Nebraska will. Nebraska was tentatively planning on practicing here in Lincoln tomorrow and then flying down to Houston.
Yeah.
I can imagine that'll be the same for Iowa. So arrive probably Tuesday night, have all day Wednesday there leading into Thursday. Man, that's a quick turnaround, especially if you're so heliocentric like Iowa is. Not that they don't have other guys that are capable, but everything they've asked Sturts to do, I'm not saying that stat's everything, but it's not nothing.
No, I mean, it wears on your legs. It's a long season anyways, right? And a lot like Price, or, we talked about guys that even when Frager went through kind of like a little mini slump, I don't even know what to call a slump, where you're just not as effective. Teams see you.
Mm-hmm.
And in Big Ten, a lot of times they see you twice. And so that wears on you a little bit. It's a long physical season. They had to play an extra game or two, or extra game versus Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament, and had a really physical game against Florida. Sure, they have a great sports science and they'll be able to recover, but they also the travel down to Houston is an extra 30, 40 minutes on the plane for them. Everything counts when you're doing this, and that's why you see football teams, they get on the West Coast, they stay out there for 2 weeks. They got 2 West Coast games. And so, Nebraska has an advantage there. What it'll mean in the point column, it could be in a couple, but you got to make it come to fruition. You're still going to have to go out there and beat Iowa. They feel like they can recover well enough to, win this game and not overextend themselves. And so Nebraska has the same. So I think it's really good that Nebraska has a chance to really step into this arena on a neutral site with the advantage, how little or how big it is, going their way.
Ray says he thinks post play is huge. Iowa's short, not very big. Burkay and Mass should be good in that matchup.
Yeah, and if Garcia didn't play at, this last game. I mean, he's also viable.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
Hollywood storyline.
Yeah, and Leotis. I call him Leotis, but even for him, I think where you can kind of get a couple good minutes out of him and see where they're at. And I think also Frager has the physicality to play down there. Kale does. Obviously, height differential is huge when you think about Iowa has enough size if he can't play like a 4 or 5. But I think if he get caught in the switch, he's definitely physical enough to move those guys off the block. That's where I think it bodes well for Nebraska. That's why I feel like the last game, Nebraska won. I think that overtime showed you exactly what the whole game was.
Mm-hmm.
That's if I'm focusing. Listen, we essentially let these dudes back into the game. They didn't. We had a guy that had a game of his life, literally had the best game, and good for him. And that's what Iowa needs. Now we have to make sure that we're playing this game accordingly and be that much tighter with our game plan, and we will not feel really good and comfortable coming down the stretch. And in the back of our mind, once we got these dudes down, it's dagger in the heart time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, why is this clock moving so slow? Let's keep playing until it's, if all 4 zeros are up there.
I do wonder if Nebraska might also go back to the Derek Walker, Sam Griesel playbook and invert the floor. Rink mass, bring it down one side of the court, Price Sanford in the post, enter it down, or just go run that screen and roll.
Well, let's see what their adjustment is. I mean, you see a lot of high school coaches do this, right? And is that they'll play a team like, let's say like in January or December and something to work. And then they'll show up the next game and not even run it. Let's see what they do off it, because not only will we run the same action, bringing it down and or Price, in the block or whatever you want to get to it. Fred will have a counter off of it.
Oh yeah.
So you're not doing the exact same thing.
No.
We're just seeing if you're just making a simple adjustment, and after you do that, then we'll adjust off of you.
Are you going to let us get away with doing what worked last time or not?
Yeah.
Brad from Baldwin says, speed it up. I don't think that's going to happen. That's not who Nebraska's been. And Iowa also does a really good job of limiting transition points. So, no, I don't think that Nebraska will necessarily speed the game up that much. But, this is a game between two teams, Jay, that like to play slow. Nebraska's at like 66 possessions per game. Iowa, I think at last check, was like 62 possessions per game. You're not going to get many.
Yeah.
Neither team wants to go that quick, right? They'll run if they have opportunity, if they get long rebounds that lead to numbers, if they jump in a passing lane, if they get a loose ball or whatnot. But both of these teams want to be able to play slower than the majority of the rest of the country.
Yeah.
So it's great to say, speed it up, right? Make Iowa uncomfortable. But that's not necessarily Nebraska's game outside of picking and choosing its spots either.
Yeah, I think just be really strategic about it. If you get a chance, you feel very good about, who can push it towards the hoop. That's where I think a healthy Braden Frager can really be within your realm or in your team concept and really push the pace. Because once he gets past half court, it's like a freight train coming. You feel comfortable with him forcing the action. So that's where you can really speed it up there. And then also you're going to be really to test their, their will and see where they're at. As fresh as they might think, going into the game. It's like playing a Sunday night game or a Sunday game, away game in the NFL, and you got to fly back. So say like when I was at Buffalo or Houston, we say we played Cleveland on a Sunday, right? Fly back to Houston and we play Thursday night. Okay, leading up to the game, we feel fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there in about the middle of the first quarter, second quarter, and you're in that 8 to 10 play drive. Oh yeah, my legs are fried.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Nebraska has to try to do. But you got to do it about execution and not playing, like you say, over your skis or outside of our normal behavior.
Plenty more to break down on this game as we go. Let's hit some college basketball coaching carousel news, including just up the road from here in Lincoln. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Moss Norman. We'll wrap up hour 2 in a sec.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Sandhills Global is growing right here in Lincoln. With our expanding campus and continued growth, we're hiring across a wide range of careers, from interns to experienced professionals. Join the team at Sandhills Global and build your career with competitive pay, great benefits, and real opportunities to grow. Visit sandhills.jobs to view openings and apply today. That's sandhills.jobs.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to Love Volleyball Nebraska for sponsoring this final segment of our 4 o'clock hour. Get your tickets. Just a few home matches remaining. LOVBNEB.com. Jay, maybe the second biggest basketball story in Nebraska, said following the college basketball crown, Greg McDermott is handing the reins over to Alan Huss. Officially,
Yeah.
Max retired at the end of the crown.
Yeah, let's see how long that. I mean, it's crazy how he's been a staple and a really good steward for basketball, for obviously for Creighton, but the state of Nebraska. Obviously, the apex was when his son was playing. You obviously knew it was coming. We just never really think it'd happen. And I think it's really good. Really a embodiment of him where very easily you could say, we're not going to the crown. But I think he really wants to, and he's had some tough stuff going on. Obviously with the Dick situation with, his mom and stuff like that, let you know that he's truly a good coach and a good dude. So, tip your hat to him. Probably down in Arizona teeing it up a little bit. Let's see if those Arizona State Sun Devils try to make that the shortest retirement ever.
They will not.
I know, but I was just saying.
We'll get to that in a second. Greg McDermott, number 6 all-time in a career Big East wins, 13 years in the Big East. The 5 guys in front of him. Boeheim, Calhoun, Jay Wright, John Thompson, Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
Then Greg McDermott.
That's a good crew to be associated with.
Not bad.
Tip your hat to him. Congrats and
good riddance.
Yeah.
Although Nebraska might have solved Creighton the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He goes out with back-to-back double-digit losses to Nebraska. So
yeah. Good tee it up. We'll send you some Titleist golf balls. And
they'll be red.
Yeah. We'll send you some Nebraska golf balls and send you a Nebraska golf bag. So
or should we send him some Creighton golf balls so he has to hit Creighton, right? Because if he's hitting Nebraska golf balls.
We want him to remember the big red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nebraska golf balls it is.
You're invited to every Nebraska watch party down there in Phoenix.
Fair enough. It just as a courtesy, right? Because Fred Hoiberg said thanks or no thanks to Greg McDermott. That's why I'm in coaching.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Kind of interesting.
Fred lasting a long time, my man. I like it though. He's getting younger by the age too. He's aging well.
He is.
Yeah.
All right. The Arizona State jab, Jay. It's going to Randy Bennett.
Ooh.
From St. Mary's. This
like
is from Trilly Donovan, Jeff Borzello, and some others have reported it now, finalizing a 5-year deal with St. Mary's former now head coach Randy Bennett. Bennett is from Arizona, 12 NCAA tournament appearances,
for Randy Bennett with the Gales since he took over in 2001. That's a guy that I've just always associated with that program. He's been there pretty much my entire life. For him to make that jump, man, I just hope he gets the support that I think he probably deserves at Arizona State.
Yeah, I hope so. Considering his last press conference where he commenced to throw every single one of his players underneath the bus, that's probably not the way you want to leave OKC that way after getting your butt whipped. But you'll see down there, I think Hurley did a better job than people give him credit for, but he didn't have the support, and you need it now in the NIL era. We wish him all the luck, but it's kind of like it's like him and Mark Few were there, and Few's the last one. So we'll see we'll see where St. Mary's is afterwards, and see what he does here very shortly, because you have no time. No rest for the weary. You got to get started right now.
St. Mary's will promote their associate head coach, Mickey McConnell, to head coach. McConnell played for St. Mary's from 2007 through 11, has been on staff since 2019. Only other thing, Jay, I was kind of waiting for this news to break at some point here so we could talk about it, but we're still waiting. No resolution on the future for Hubert Davis at North Carolina. No news kind of seems like bad news right now. It just kind of seems like they're finalizing terms more than anything, but a little surprised we don't have a decision already, given that there's been rumbling since as recently as, last year, let alone Thursday when their season ended.
Yeah, when he plays, the press conference doesn't help you out a lot. And I think his go-to is that, Caleb Wilson is hurt, because it legitimately was a good coaching job this year. It could be a saving grace, and he has a huge recruiting class coming in. It'll hurt North Carolina losing him. I think he's a lot better than what people give him credit for. A little quirky personality-wise. Rubbed Michael Jordan and company a little bit the wrong way, but we'll see what happens.
A sports reporter from WRAL says, update, meetings between players and Hubert Davis that were set to begin Tuesday have been postponed.
Yeah.
So, postponed until
it's either going to
probably
keep me or you're not. I think I think he has people that support him. Some people that obviously that don't. If I was Hubert, I'd be on the phone trying to mend some fences.
This is just breaking as well. Trayson Anderson, Lincoln kid, in the portal.
Yeah.
10-5, 36% three-point
Good
shooter.
on him. You can't, big athletic kid, 6'10", 6'11", expanded his range.
Played high-level hoops at North Dakota State.
Yeah, he'll find a home real quickly.
Hour 3 of Old School on the other side.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Good news, LES customers. Even though their lobby at 2620 Fairfield Street closes July 31st, they've still got plenty of convenient ways to support you. Find your best options at les.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
You're looking for a cast for today, a slight chance of showers this afternoon. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy. High around 52. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover with a continued breeze. The low around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. Be breezy and warm with a high near 72. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time. And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Dave Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, the New School Way, 1040 O Street. Once again, brought to you by Graham Tire. I want to thank them personally for getting me through that last little quick snowmageddon. They turned me around in about 2 or 3 hours, and obviously it hit the next day. So they can take care of all your car needs, both big and small. So appreciate their support. Appreciate you guys listening. Obviously, it's heavy into basketball right now with Nebraska about to save all their energy and beat with the Iowa beat down here come Thursday about 6 p.m. Down there in H-Town. But we have some other stuff going on, Austin, which is we talked about the Nebraska football team. We could get back to, obviously, basketball as well. But lo and behold, Travis Kelce is back, the Chief, with the 3-year deal for Travis Kelce.
But is it really?
It's essentially a 1-year deal.
Explain that to people.
What happens is you could do a 3-year deal. You can obviously spread out the bonus and the cap number, and it essentially lessens the cap hit this year, right? So you can front load it, really essentially a going away present. And they'll usually ask you as a player, they always say, how many more years can you play? If you think you only can play one, say you can play 2. It'll probably be, it's obviously a 1-year deal for this year. The second year deal, second year of the deal will be interesting because if he chooses to come back, he'll have to make that decision early, and it won't be just his decision like this time. How well are you playing? Do we need you for the future? How are you working with the Mahomes, and how much is the money? So I think it's just a 1-year deal. They extended out to 3, for the salary cap and for the team, so it allows them to operate and functionally financially better. But if he plays really well, they'll be able to, kind of push that all to the 3rd year. And he's more than earned the right for them to have a little bit of dead cap money if he's able to play 2 more years.
Yeah, when I saw the 3-year deal, I didn't think it was actually going to be a true 3.
Never.
But at least by saying 3, you give yourself the flexibility. To not have to renegotiate, right? You have it on the books. I guess you could always renegotiate. That's something, Jay, that I am always impressed with and bumfoozled by every NFL offseason is all the wheeling and dealing and renegotiating and redoing terms just to shuffle that money around, right? Some of it to a roster bonus, a signing bonus, whatever, sort of bonus they have. So it's not like these things don't get reevaluated pretty much every year based on the current cap situation. But no, you're right. Just to lock him up for at least 1 more year and then still have the option that if he's still feeling good, wants to make it to 40. I can't imagine making it to 40 as an NFL tight end, even in this day and age. That seems like a stretch, but if he thinks he can do it.
Yeah, it's 3-year, $54 million, average 18 a year, right? But when you think about this year is $12 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
And you can earn up to 15 in incentives. Now, whether they're easy to reach or hard to reach incentives, if he's able to really have another great year or one of his normal great Travis Kelce years, he's earning $15 million. I guarantee he'll be back at the regular rate the next year.
What do you think those incentives would be? What's kind of like the right level for a guy like Travis Kelce, who,
it could be something as how many, percentage of plays he plays. It definitely could be touchdown versus catches. And some of them, and a lot of times it's with quarterbacks, how much you win and all this other stuff. So
it's just interesting because with Kelce being that important to the Chiefs, I could see them on the one hand making that $3 million almost a shoe-in.
Yeah.
Hey, you've done so much for us.
Being active for, you could
15
do it like
out of 17 games.
Every since they play 17 games in it, but it's 18 weeks. So if if you're active 6 weeks, then you get, if you're on the active roster, right? And on the 50, you can even do it where you're on the 53-man roster. It's another way to give you free money. You can go, every 6 weeks you get $300,000. So next thing you know, through the whole season of just being on the team, on the active roster, that's why you see some guys that don't go on injured reserve, for long periods of time. There's another $1 million right there. Then you could get it to where, the percentage of plays that you play when you're on the active roster, that could be 100,000. You could really get them to 15, and it helps you bookkeeping wise.
But the flip side of that is, I'd love to know what the incentives are to see how concerned the Chiefs are or aren't about where his head's at.
Yeah.
Right. Because last year, I think you can chalk up to, hey, here's a 36-year-old tight end in the NFL playing 17 long straight. Okay, 7 straight long seasons, playing more games at a physically demanding position than pretty much anyone in football.
Yeah.
There was always going to be a decline. There's always going to be a drop off. But didn't we hear Travis Kelce at some point say, my head wasn't in it fully, my heart wasn't in it to the same degree? And so if I'm the Chiefs, I want to do you a solid because you're Travis Kelce, you're inner circle in our ring of honor. But also, if you're going to come back and play, I need to make sure the incentive is there to get you to play the best that you can. And then if it's physical drop off, you just don't have it anymore, so be it. But I'm not just going to give you too much free money if I'm at all concerned that, hey, there's more in the tank than what you're giving us.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for him is the quickness that he was able to make the decision. I think he wanted to come back and didn't want to go out like they went out last year with obviously Mahomes and the way he played at times. I think the offseason is huge for him. Getting back to, look, he's never gonna be as fast as he was in year 3 or 4. That's fine, but he's obviously very smart, savvy. He can still get open. There was times that he was wide open. They weren't either looking for him or made him a priority, or he had a few untimely drops.
Mhm.
And so those things, those are all controllables. I think for him, it's his mindset has to be control the controllables, right? And you saw a little bit of chink in the armor when they walked up to the Super Bowl. I text you, that was a sign of desperation. You
Mhm.
saw him, in training camp last year, was fighting essentially a scout team rookie because the guy actually made a good play against them. I think those are the things that will tell the Chiefs that, or when those are gone, that the Travis Kelce that they need and want to be back. You could split it up 1.5 in easy to reach incentives and 1.5 of the incentives that we need you to play at. I think also the offensive coordinator change with Kelce coming back, with Eric Bieniemy being there, the guy that he respects, the guy that knows how to push his buttons, the guy that will demand excellence from Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, everybody in that offensive, room, staff included, players, coaches, administrators, whoever. The standard is changed and it's going to be amped up. That's actually bodes well and better for anybody besides Patrick Mahomes and is Travis Kelce. Because once he gets that, the trust between Bieniemy and Kelce is already there. Bieniemy will see and recognize if he needs a break or if he needs a little bit less rep count, but then he'll save him and use him when he's more effective. I think some of the things that you saw with Travis Kelce was a little bit of regret, probably too much fun in the offseason, which naturally happens when I think his fiance, they're engaged, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his fiance is an iconic figure.
Mhm.
You're along with that. You did a couple movies and all that stuff. So you kind of aren't in your natural, habitat of your training in the off season. And then you got frustrated a little bit because I think the emphasis of the Chiefs offense was never defined last year. That's why it was so inconsistent. And that's the first time he's had to deal with that.
Mm.
You just went to the Super Bowl and you fought some of that when you went 15-1 or whatever the record was, but you won all those one-score games. So that was kind of smoke screened off of it. And then you got to the Super Bowl, right? Via the Buffalo Bills, mishaps and everybody else. So you really didn't have to address it. Then it came to fruition last year and you lost a lot of one-score games. Who used to be the money guy in one-score games? It was Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill, generally.
Mm-hmm.
The last two are still there. He wasn't getting the mail delivered to him, and so it just became very frustrating. But then you heard early or late in the season that rumblings that he was going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
He can't go out like that. His mind wasn't in it, but he recognized it. So I think if you're ever going to get a year that where you can extend it past this year to next year, it's going to be this year because everything sets up well for him. Also, the circumstances of Patrick Mahomes potentially not being ready for week one. Justin Fields, who do you think the best safety net for Justin Fields is?
Probably a top 5 tight end of all time.
There you go. And it doesn't have to be like Gronk and all those hitting the seam routes and all that. You could be, because he can still make guys miss, and he's still a matchup problem. He still can get open. They just got to scheme him open.
It does lead me to wonder, too, on that offensive identity and balance part. If Kelce shows up a little bit more focused in training camp, do the Chiefs feature him more? Or are they always going to move away from him, just kind of thinking, oh, he's a little old. We got to start to look at some of these options. Or because I don't want to put like all the blame on Matt Nagy or Andy Reid for not featuring him. I mean, players got to get open. But also, I mean, you've said it too, players got to force the issue, right? Make it so they got to give me the ball or put me on the field.
You saw some times last year where I think there was miscommunication between him and Mahomes. That's attention to detail. Generally, the quarterback's always right. Generally, they never had those mishaps. So it's a little bit different. You saw a little bit different Travis Kelce. When you're traveling all like across the world like that, and I get it, you overextend yourself and stuff, and things are going well, especially in the Super Bowl year. You got to think. Remember, he went down to the Rangers game and during a bye week.
Right.
It was maybe even after a game or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that you never saw from Travis Kelce that you started to see repeatedly. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're performing well. When you're not and you're a little bit long in the tooth, things have changed. You're struggling offensively. You're struggling as a team because you're not as explosive. And you saw the Chiefs make an emphasis, tried to force the ball down the field. How they've drafted, they've tried to replicate Tyreek Hill and the explosive, take the top off of defense. They've never been able to find it. Whether it's Hollywood Brown and Worthy, they've seen it in bits and pieces. But by doing that, you got away from your ultimate X factor. Travis Kelce is the reason Tyreek Hill and company was able to get loose against everybody.
You had to have safeties with eyes on that dude in the middle.
He's a problem because he can catch a ball with really good coverage, break a tackle in an explosive play. Well, next thing you know, we have more eyes top down, especially in a cover 4. There goes Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill can catch a little, whether it's a square in, slant, or whatever, reverse field. He's up the sidelines. And so that's what they're trying to replicate. But I think with Eric Bieniemy coming back in, he'll be able to manufacture that because Andy Reid and everybody on the Chiefs now, I think, has more respect for Eric Bieniemy than they ever, including Patrick Mahomes. Because I think sometimes when you have success at this level and you start to become an iconic player and your team starts to be in that iconic level, because the run that the Chiefs were on for those 7 years, I think they either went to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Patriot-esque, right? So your whole franchise starts, and especially, a couple players start to get to the point to where they're, I call them one-name guys, Kelsey, Mahomes, and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start to really think like, okay, I got it now, right? But you look back at it, it was Eric Bieniemy demanding excellence from all those guys, and Andy Reid supporting him in that role.
Mm.
But he never got the credit for it. So he felt like he had to leave to go get the credit. Well, sometimes your respect and your credit comes from your absence. Now he's back. Now he understands it's a different type of team that he's coaching, same players, different times of their career. He's learned a lot. Now they're willing to really come back and they understand what he wants. And I think you're going to get a different type of Chiefs offense, and it's going to get periodically, kind of like their defense over the years. As the season goes on, they're going to get really, really good.
Yeah, the extra edge from Bieniemy. You also had Kenneth Walker in free agency.
And that was on purpose too.
Yeah, not that Kelsey's been the best blocker, but he's been good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the Chiefs tried to run, no one was scared of it last year. I wonder if being more engaged as a blocker, sometimes for Kelsey, and the Chiefs having the threat of the run game, even if he just shows a block for a second, count, and then can release on his route.
Yeah.
Even just the threat of Kenneth Walker gives him that extra step that he might not have himself physically right now.
Yeah, he's more than willing. He's got to be, obviously get in there and get dirty. But I just think that Kenneth Walker coming, Pacheco actually, I think, going to Seattle. But you're getting the Super Bowl MVP, who's been a productive back while he's been healthy, that hasn't had a lot of tread ran off the tires. And with Eric Bieniemy wanting to come back and the emphasis on being physical with what Andy Reid is known for as an offensive line coach, with Patrick Mahomes coming back from being hurt, you can you don't have to rush him back. Well, then now you have a guy that the conversations probably had to be very free flowing for Andy Reid. Feels like, I remember his statement the last time somebody asked him about it. It felt like, okay, we're in a good place with them, right? I feel like it's good. So it was a matter of time. So the conversations from Andy Reid to Travis Kelce was very unique because they probably were very forthcoming and black and white, and it's also calling them to the carpet as well. But they have such a good relationship. It came from a place of love, right? Like you need
Can that relationship be the same when a guy leaves and comes back?
I mean, Eric Bieniemy?
Yeah,
I think it could be even better. I don't think that relationship ever ended. I don't think they left on bad terms. Right. So I think it's appreciation now. And Eric Bieniemy played in the NFL. He's played.
Oh, yeah.
So, and he's coached older players.
Mhm.
He knows where Kelsey's at. He's looked at all the tape. So he's already kind of like, all right, this is how we're going to do this. Instead of saying, you know what, you're too old. He's like, I'm going to figure out the way for you to be good, for you to get the most out of you. If there's 60 plays in the game and I need you to play 38, then I'm going to tell you, I need you to play 38. There's going to be a game I'm going to need you to play all 60 plays. You got to play good. And I don't want any excuses. That's the difference. That's what you're going to get from. It's never personal. It's never demeaning. It's all business, but it's for the betterment of him, which would be Kelsey, and the team. And it's not a Matt Nagy thing. It's an Eric Bieniemy thing. They're two different personalities. For every reason that people don't want to hire him as a head coach is why he's the best running back coach in the league, why he's one of the best coordinators in the league, why he is such a good match with Andy Reid. You have Andy Reid, kind of like the facilitator, and then you got the guy that's going to lay down the hammer right there. But they work really, really good together in the office. So a little bit more of the same, but I think you're going to see more of a physical, purposeful Chiefs offense.
I hope so for their sake. I am just always a little nervous about getting the gang back together.
Yeah.
I don't think this is just a nostalgia move. I think the Chiefs could have gone a bunch of different directions, even though they have, struggled a little bit more offensively, even with Mahomes injured. I would like to think the Chiefs with Andy Reid and with Mahomes there would still be at the top of the list for any young up and coming, wunderkind, whiz kid on the offensive side of the ball to want to go work there. I think getting the edge back with Eric Bieniemy would go a long way for that Chiefs team, but I'm going to need to see a couple games of evidence to prove that it's as simple as drag and drop.
Yeah.
That it's going to be as good as
I don't
new.
think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be, we're going for 40 every game. But what I think you're going to see is Andy Reid still going to be heavily involved.
Mm-hmm.
But the partnership, the true partnership, you got to think Andy Reid's kind of like brought Eric Bieniemy along. And then Eric Bieniemy has added something to Andy.
Mm-hmm.
It's that relationship.
Well, right. But Kelsey and Mahomes aren't the same people they were
they're not,
4 years ago.
But the attention to detail and the demand, right? See, there's a difference between, and you can see this in basketball. You saw the Maryland's women's coach. There's a difference. This is what people don't understand. There's a difference between being a demanding coach and a demeaning coach. There's a lot of young coaches that don't know the difference.
Mm.
You can be very demanding without being demeaning, because when you're demanding, you're coming from a place of respect, and the player trusts you to demand them.
Mm.
When there is no trust, it's demeaning, particularly from the coach to the player, and worse from the player to the coach, because you're not consistent. Eric Bieniemy is consistent in everything he does. So is Andy Reid. That's what you're going to get. He's not looking to replay Buffalo against Buffalo with 13 seconds left.
Right.
What he's looking for is to get back to the standard. They're going to have to do a really good job in free agency and to continue to develop. And then once that happens, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good chance that it's going to work. Wet blanket. Jay, why do you feel like the perception within the organization of Bieniemy has improved since he left? If the organization didn't think he was important before he left, what has he done to change the perception? Objectively, Bieniemy failed without the Chiefs.
Well, he just was the offensive coordinator with the Chicago Bears. Correct?
Well, he was with the Commanders first.
Right.
That's where he left first, and then he was with the Bears.
Right.
Was he the OC?
Well, yeah, him and Ben Johnson. I don't think either failed. I think he was trying to. I think like this. He was up for head coaching jobs.
He was the running backs coach with the Bears.
And everywhere he's been, he's kind of been looked over for head coaching job, for the quote unquote interview, which is BS, really, because Eric Bieniemy is a tough dude, straight laced dude, or whatever. And then they're like, well, you're with the Chiefs, so you're always fighting that. Are you the offensive coordinator? Because he was named the offensive coordinator, assistant head coach with Andy Reid. Well, then they always fought that, right? Now it's amazing that it was, Eric Bieniemy always had to fight that, but Brad Childress never had to fight that. Brad Childress never called plays before he became the Vikings head coach, and that's widely known. But he was the offensive coordinator when he was with Andy Reid. Matt Nagy is the same. So he felt like he needed to leave, and also I think that people will, maybe within the organization probably didn't appreciate him that much then because they were having a lot of success and they lost their way a little bit.
Well, that's where I would completely push back on if the organization didn't think he was important before he left. Of course they did.
Yeah.
He got a lot of credit within those walls.
It wasn't like they didn't.
They weren't pushing him out the door.
He was trying to go somewhere to put himself in the position. He had to gamble because at some point in time, you're good enough to be a head coach. You're not getting interviews. You're not getting past the first initial interview. You're be honest, for a lot of African American coaches, you have to do that. You got to take your opportunity. You can't be strategic. You got to take it whenever you can get it, right? Leslie Frazier's and all those guys, and Lovie Smith. You got to go down there. You're a consultant. They're like, hey, well,
Vance Joseph back in the day,
Joseph, right? Well, you know what? You hired you interviewed a lot of the coaches. We haven't hired him. Would you like to do it? You know what I'm saying? So
right.
He tried to do that. I think. The Commanders thing with the young coach and stuff like that, he did some good things. And then, unfortunately for us, he came in here in the first year at UCLA and beat us as a coordinator. And then he was a running back coach over there. So he can coach, and he's going to be back coaching, overseeing a position that he's really, really good at. Going to be calling plays along with Andy Reid. So he's in a very good position to be successful. And And who knows, he might not ever be a technically offensive court or a head coach, but he's going to be in a position where he's been successful. And I think the organization, when you go back and listen to what the players said,
what they said and what they didn't say.
I'm telling you,
between the lines,
the toughness and the accountability and the ability to be demanding to the very best player in Patrick Mahomes. Because you remember the one time when they were out playing the LA Chargers, when the Chargers were playing in that soccer stadium, or maybe it was the first year, and Mahomes wanted to go for it before halftime. If you go back and remember, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy decided not to. It was mainly because they were saving the situational play for later in the game. Him and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was mad. Eric Bieniemy listened to him, and then he finally gave him the look. Was like, "That's enough." Patrick Mahomes put his helmet on and went in, and they end up winning the game. That's what they're missing because there's always a plan. Now, will it lead the Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl and dominate again? Maybe not, man, because, that AFC West, that's tough.
Not getting any easier.
It's not getting any easier. The NFL is not getting any easier. So, but what he's bringing to them is what they missed last year and what actually they probably missed the year before, but they were able to win 11 one-score games.
Yeah.
So they're actually addressing the issue that they couldn't or didn't see to address last year. Big Daddy's coming home. And he's only like 5'8". You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And there's a lot of pressure because Mahomes is coming off of, being hurt. Kelsey is a little bit long in the tooth. They don't have a true number one. Rasheed Rice is in trouble again, or potentially could be, right? You think you let Jawan Taylor go, so now you got a really good left tackle. You got to make sure he's healthy. He's got a lot of stuff that he's got to take care of. I think he's got the support there. Now you got to revamp your offensive line. You got Humphrey, you got left tackle, you got Smith the guard. So now you need the right tackle and you need the left guard taken care of because the left guard is where Chicago Bears.
Right.
So, and he's borderline Hall of Fame,
which is wild to think about, but it's true.
It's true. Via the Patriots. So we shall see. We'll take a quick break, come back, talk a little bit more NFL. Come Wednesday, even though obviously the day before, Nebraska Pro Day. What guys have to do. Spring ball starting up practice again today. I don't know if they practiced earlier today or not, but spring ball is back after spring break. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Verne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
John just tried Runza's new Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally
What?
You know, boom, 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 boom.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'.
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, coming at you live, 1040 O Street. We need to call this week Iowa Beatdown Week. Bust your head open in it's week. In your eye week. Clothesline your mama week. What else we got for Iowa? You stink
Best
week.
2 out of 3 week.
Yeah. You stink week. 66.666 to infinity week.
Build the wall and make Iowa pay for it week.
Yeah, whatever you want. We want, your corn is horrible. All that stuff. But life goes on, and obviously here in Nebraska, the two biggest things going right now is obviously Nebraska basketball, and then obviously Nebraska football is in a unique time that they moved up their spring. Obviously not knowing that Nebraska was going to go in this magical run. but for the, have a longer offseason to kind of get their ducks in a row. But they're back to the last week of spring practice before they have the official spring game, on Saturday at 11. And so they, either practice today or going to do something today. And, a lot is going on. But on top of that, Austin, obviously, sometimes, the calendar never stops. And as quick as spring ball started, now like the great year and the All-American year that Emmett Johnson had, it's not in the back burner, but now we're moving on to Calandria, Mosey and Nelson or whoever is going to be the running backs and the new offensive line. But lo and behold, come Wednesday, a lot of the guys that were a part of a 7-win team, obviously didn't end the way that some of those guys didn't want, are going to be on probably their biggest job interview besides, the combine that either they did or didn't go to is, going to be Wednesday for pro day. And it's going to be it's a longer day because they stretch it out. You lift, you do some interviews, you kind of do the field work. But you talk about, it's the off season for high school kids and they're going to camps and they get to run 40s. Well, you got another 10 times to do it in this off season for them. You get 2 40s. If you're at a skill position or let's say a mini skill position as linebacker, and they're the most important 40s of your career. And it's all byproduct what you've done and stuff like that. And then obviously your tape is important. But Nebraska's pro day is Wednesday. And so it's going to be, Emmett Smith is going to be the headliner. Singleton is
Johnson.
Or Emmett Johnson.
Emmett Smith headlining Nebraska pro day would be pretty sick. Not going to lie.
I know. I don't know what, look, no disrespect to Emmett Smith, but Emmett Johnson is going to be the headliner along with Singleton and company. But you have some guys that could really, make some noise and get into camp, maybe get drafted, and then extend their football career. And also there's a UFL option too. So there's a lot more guys that can move on to the next level. And it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Which is what people always forget, right? And we don't always like to talk about it because of all the conversations we have about the transfer portal. But just find the right home for you. Whenever it is that you get there, go ahead and, have your journey. Hope you find that place that works out best for you initially. Emmett ran what, 4 5s?
Like a high 4 5.
Yeah. Can you get that down to 4 5 2?
I think so.
4
I
5
think
5?
You could really. It all is on the start. You're in a familiar territory. I think you can go back and it's been quite some time since the combine as far as like training days goes, right? You can really get back and you can kind of now these guys are so that everything's recorded. They can really break down your 40 to like a play. And they have speed trainers or whatever. And so you can go back to wherever you're training or if you're here and really look on the nuances, how you can really shave. You can go from I think he ran like anywhere between a 4.46 and a 4.56. So let's just say he ran a 4.58. You could get that thing down to a 4.48 or 4.5 flat just based on a start. And obviously more training at it and stuff like that. He killed it in all the agility drills and all that stuff. So, for him, it's going to be huge, to run a better 40. One is it's going to show improvement, right? So that's going to be the last one that the scouts and GMs are going to talk about when they're in their meetings. But then 2, it's going to really eliminate the size factor that works against Emmett, right? And so once you can say, I got some home run speed, the quickness, the catching ability, the ability to make people miss, he plays bigger than his size or whatever. I think he weighed in at 202. All that stuff, he's just fine. Tough, doesn't miss a practice, doesn't miss a game, is really, really focused on and off the field. Only thing is pass blocking. But once you have that speed, that's like, okay, we can help him and teach him how to pass block. But the thing that was probably the knock on him will be remedied by his 40, but then also how he was able to break off some long runs this year. So it shows the ability to improve and get faster as time goes on. So it's good for him. I think Deshaun, if he runs, he's got to run well. And then a guy for like Dane Key, a guy that can make 50-50 catches, willing guy on special teams, tough physical guy, got good NFL size. And if he runs well, his last 2 years, right? The last year here, and then obviously he had a really good year at Kentucky. That's where you could sneak in and be a guy that could get picked later in the rounds and make some noise.
going to be interesting to see how all these dudes do because, like you said, last major showcase
Yeah.
for all of them. And I think there's a bunch of guys that have a chance to have a good final impression. It's kind of crazy to think the draft is really just around the corner.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get, that lost in the shuffle given that we've been spending so much time here talking about Nebraska men's basketball. But yeah, Jamie, I think for Emmett Johnson, right, even if pass block is a weakness for him, dude competes. No one ever questioned Emmett's compete level, right?
Yeah.
Same thing I would give Deshaun Singleton the benefit of the doubt there with the leadership skills and all that too. But as much as it's going to be cool to see Emmett certainly get drafted, we'll see down the line too. Who are going to be like, is there another John Bullock in this year's class, right? Guy that's going to carve out a career. Who's going to put their name out there at Pro Day that some team's going to fall in love with and say, I don't know if we can spend a draft pick on you. That's premium, property.
Yeah.
But hey, you're our first call.
Right.
For
I mean,
the UDFAs.
you got to think like a Javen Wright, the thing
Oh,
for
yeah.
him is
Oh,
just that like a physical thing, and it's not even in his control. He's got that under control the last couple of years, walking around at 6'5" and, anywhere from, 225 to, 235. And I know he's going to run and jump well. That's going to be appealing to somebody, not only a late round draft choice or wherever he potentially get drafted, definitely a priority free agent. When you talk about, some of the linemen that they have in there, or that will be able to, maybe get drafted and do that. And then you have guys like Sierra Wright, I think, who has an excellent chance of getting drafted, even though he didn't go to the combine, which I was surprised at, considering that he was really, really competitive when he played last year out in the corner, transitioned into the nickel, showed well enough at the nickel, and then he had a really, really good all-star games. You know what I mean? And I was surprised he didn't get a late combine invite because he got invited down to the Senior Bowl. And so he runs well, position flexibility, has played special teams and been really good on special teams. And so I think he's a guy that when he plays bigger than his size, if he jumps and runs well, he'll test out well, and he's all, really, really competitive. I think he has a chance to be one of those guys that you like to think about. And then you got like a Henry Latowski, who I think finally when he got in there, I think he, played pretty decent at, guard. He's a guy that, big as a tackle, but obviously plays guard, can play both guards. Never, seen him play center, but I'm pretty sure he'd be willing. He'll be appealing just from a size standpoint. A big guy.
Teams are always looking for bodies like that.
Yeah, big guy like that. And so they have guys that can get in there and make a long career out of it. It's been done from guys around here before, but unlike it when I got drafted, there wasn't another league. They had a little NFL Europe, but I was already past that. But then now they have a legitimate NFL league that guys that springboarded their careers, long NFL careers and stuff like that. So we got one text right here before we go to break. Clantonio John says, the 40-yard dash is stupid and overrated. I agree 1,000%. Running in your underwear compared to running with all your gear on. Watch the tape, and the tape don't lie. You're fast running in a straight line, or you're fast football fast. I believe there's a difference. There is 1,000% a difference. The greatest probably football player of all time is a byproduct of that. Jerry Rice ran a 4.7. I never saw a tape where he got hawked down. Period. And there's guys that run fast in a 40 that don't play fast. There's guys that play really, really fast and good in practice, don't play like that in the game. And so,
it's guys like me that are fast-ish, but then you put that extra gear on us, and I do not have the frame to run quick in.
Well, there's guys that can run fast without thinking versus when you have to know where you're going and why you're going, and then obviously arrive with the bad intentions.
And know that the other guy knows that he knows where you want to go, and still find a way to fool him and beat him there, and then get your head taken off.
It's more of a stamina game. How long can you run your fastest versus how long can they play their fastest and hardest? There's a little, I guess, answer to the trivia. The 40-yard dash is not even really, if there's three phases in the game, it's not even it's only part of a one-phase part of football. And the original, or the 40-yard dash originated because they were trying to find ways to test out special teams guys. That's it. And then it morphed into Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, all these guys, glazing all these guys that run fast 40s and trying to correlate that or a combine workout into something that they haven't done in their career that they're going to obviously somehow do based on what they do in their underwear at the highest level. Or they're leapfrogging the football players and giving it to the better 40-yard dash guys, and that's where you get a lot of busts.
I will say there's maybe one little spot of utility for the 40, and that's the first step in the first 10.
First 10 is indicative. It's really
it's first step, it's reaction, it's explosion.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Vertical as well.
Yeah.
There is, for the combine, there is things that you can correlate to football. Like when you're doing the 3-cone drills, short shuttle, long shuttle, you can look at knee bend, ankle flexion, all that. So you can kind of correlate. But I've seen some guys that look like, and I have nothing against garbage men. My garbage man when I was growing up always wore overalls in the summer. And it was a big old dude. This dude was huge. And so that's what I'm going to say. Kevin Gogan, guy that played for the Dallas Cowboys, was ruthless and the nastiest dude I ever played against. He looked like the dude that used to pick up my garbage. Big old dude. No, wasn't big like muscles, just big, mean, nasty dude. Wasn't athletic, but let me tell you something. He would do anything and everything to stop you from getting to the quarterback or to the running back. When I see him by any means necessary, any means. That has nothing
legal or
illegal.
Not so legal.
Yeah. If you ain't getting caught, it's legal.
Right.
None of that has to do with anything at the combine. If you put him in the combine, he probably ran forever, probably benched okay, but I'm sure there was tons
might grade out the same way as the garbage man.
Right. There's a lot of guys that graded out better, but he played forever in the league and he played for one of the best teams of all time. So, but I do think that some of the stuff at the combine is there, like the vertical and all that. And you want to see the first 10 and all that. And you want to, your receivers to have long speed. But, look at some of the best receivers. Anquan Bolden was like a 4.65, I think, 4.6, 4.7. He put up Hall of Fame, unstoppable. Torrey Holt potentially should be a Hall of Famer. He isn't the fast. But there's how many guys? We just talked about the Chiefs.
Well, Justin Jefferson's not the fastest guy.
Right. You got all these guys that are the best because they can come in and out of their breaks the best. They can catch in traffic. They know they run really, really good routes. They know the game. They know how to play leverage. They know all the things that are most important. And it's always correlated to when we talk about sometimes with guys that go out of the NBA draft.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't shoot it well in college, but he has the potential to. Listen, if you can't shoot the basketball, all right, you can't shoot the basketball right now. Don't tell me I'm picking you in the lottery just on the chance that you're going to go against Michael Jordan and company and all of a sudden shoot the ball better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you can work on it and maybe you had some physical issues or whatever, but I remember I always hear these NBA guys, well, he didn't really shoot it real well, but I think he's worked on some stuff. Well, I hope so. Yeah, and it does change. And there's guys that improve their accuracy. Josh Allen has, and all that. Those are things that you can change by the knowledge of your game. And then also with a coach that's playing to your strengths, like Lamar Jackson and those guys that play to your strengths.
But those are the exceptions.
Those are the exceptions, not the norm.
Right.
The norm is...
look at LeBron shooting. He came into the league.
Right.
Couldn't do it.
Right. But he worked at it.
Worked at it real hard.
And
still took him 10 years to get there.
Right. Same with Jordan. He had to improve his shot, and he did it faster than LeBron, but you still got to improve your shot. So, Wednesday is a big deal for those guys. I think a lot of the biggest thing those guys need, everybody wants to get drafted. Know for sure, like Emmett will get drafted, probably Singleton maybe, and then, Sierra and who knows after that. But you guys want to get a shot and get in there and make a name for yourself and take every rep you can. You'll end up making it past, a couple years in the league. The easiest year to make it is the first year. The hardest year to make it is the second and beyond. And once you get to year 4, you kind of figure it out. Making it 2 to the 4th year is the hardest thing possible. Is way harder. In a lot of ways, it's harder than making it. Because you're younger, you'll get more shots. You'll be able to get on. You'll be able to get on the practice squad.
Potential.
Right. And you're cheap. Well, once you get there and you do a little something, now the standard's set. Now you got to show improvement. Now you got to fight off all the same guys that were you 6, 8, 9 months ago. And they're just a little bit cheaper. And you got to figure out a way to make yourself more valuable. Because if you're a fringe player, you're really not that valuable. They really think they can find another friend. The fringe players walking around everywhere. So that's the ins and outs of the Wednesday in the spring ball. We'll take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this magical Monday after Nebraska's Sweet 16 victory. last Saturday. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
The wait is over. It's Truck Month at Anderson Ford, which means big selection and even bigger savings on Ford F-150s. Like lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for only $195 per month. The truck that's built to work hard and play hard. Another reason you'll experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008409. Previous service letter. $195 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year, 8,500 with type. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Take your operation to the next level. Right now at Landmark Implement, take advantage of special financing on model year 2019 through 2025 John Deere tractors, sprayers, and combines. Take advantage of a 12-month fixed interest waiver, followed by John Deere Financial standard rates, or choose from multiple split rate offers with approved credit. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School, the New School way. Quick segment here before we turn it over to Nasty Nick W. and Tom Chattel at 6 p.m. Look at me, he back there chuckling like a mug. He just got a new nickname. But yeah, a lot of spring ball going on, and obviously Huskers got a big preparation day today and tomorrow, and then obviously go on the road and do what they do best, and that's obviously beat Iowa. But good show. Appreciate you guys texting in. Keep doing it even tomorrow and Wednesday. Austin will be on the road probably Wednesday, but we'll make sure that check in with him.
I will be back for Thursday's show for at least the first hour.
Online though.
Yes.
Yeah.
On stream.
Yeah, on the stream.
Yep.
Thursday show for the first hour.
Indeed. Because 6:30 tip off.
I know.
Prime time.
Yeah.
Prime time for Nebraska.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a replay. We got to get it. We'll make sure we beat traffic. So, anyways, appreciate you listening from my main man, Austin. Give him a little bit of a break today. Working hard down there, Oklahoma City. We got to get him recharged and refreshed. Get him some tea and some honey, and it'll be back on full effect for Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive.